Hey, what's going on, guys? Just doing a quick nighttime ride. Just wanted you to see the profile of the GoTrax GX0 at night. We got our swag lights at the bottom. Of course, the headlight. You see my speaker setup. Got the brake lights there. Not a bad setup. We'll say at the very least, GoTrax makes a pretty scooter. Still sad to hear about some of the customer service issues that people have had, but it is what it is. Can't wait to find out about the big next thing. Maybe not just from them, but from any other scooter company. So I'm gonna ride around a little bit. You guys get to see how the lights look, how the throw is, and how really the camera looks. This will be my first nighttime ride. All right, so let's go. Ooh, it's kind of important. Something I always forget because the stem is fairly stable. To lock this thing, I've done that a couple of times. I'm just glad I haven't gotten punished. All right, let's go. Riding at night is pretty cool. Visibility is super important. I just like being seen. Never want to be out late at night. Early evening or late at night, like I'm riding. It's pretty late. But I feel much safer when I feel like cars can see me. So that's probably one of my favorite features of this scooter. So whenever I move on, whether that's another GoTrax, based off of what I'm hearing about the customer service, I'm not loving, because it's got to be at least the third or fourth time I've heard something like that. People having bad experiences or no experience, which is even worse. That the customer service is not as responsive as, like we've seen in the ESG videos. That's the electric scooter guide. You guys should definitely, check them out. Paul is easily, both Paul and Ramier. Some of my favorite reviewers. Definitely RK9 rides. These guys are super reliable. I find for the most part the way that they test their scooters, giving you like real world usage and showing you what they do, nighttime, what they do in the daytime, rain, range, all of that stuff is super important to know. But like with anything, you need to check and see how it's going to work for you. Currently I make this scooter work for me. It's not really the best of every scenario. Like, my biggest complaint with this scooter is the range. I do really wish that GoTrax had like a viable like range option that was in this kind of class of scooter, but that's just sadly not the case. One of those things you really have to think about. If anybody's here watching this and considering stepping up from maybe a commuter type scooter, like one that maxes out at 20 miles an hour, to something that goes, 28 to 30. And I will say, I do think that most people should do it in steps, because it's 20 and 30 are two different animals. 20 miles an hour and 30 miles an hour are two completely different animals. Absolutely. So, good to know those things and to kind of get comfortable at a certain speed before you move on. And it doesn't take that long, honestly. Alright, let's see what this person behind me is doing. Parsons. Alright. Just riding around Queens, riding around on my automobile late at night. And as always, you've tuned in with me for this long. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I am doing what I can to grow out this channel. I would appreciate it, and I'm happily, especially while I'm at the smallest end my channel will ever be, I would happily extend the favor. So, especially any up and coming scooter riders who have their channels, I'm looking to sub. Looking for comments and feedback. What do you think my next scooter should be? But definitely, like I said to old scooter guy in one of the comments, I'm definitely not going over 75 miles an hour. Not until I can, not 75 miles an hour, that's cap. I'm not going over 75 pounds until I'm no longer on a walk up. Out of the walk up, fair game. Or like a lower floor. Because I think legitimately, like, if I ever purchase a house or move into a building that has a elevator, oh, game over. I'm getting the heaviest scooter I could find. The only part that sucks about the heavier scooters is that you gotta kind of plan in advance, especially the way that I commute. Gotta plan that out, because you can't just willy-nilly carry those things up the city stairs. Alright, we're coming to the end of the ride. Yeah, you get a quick view of what it looks like in Queens this hour. I think it's like 3 in the morning. I'm nuts going around riding like this, but it's so like clear and free to ride at this hour, so I love it. Anyway, I'm about to get home. Have a great evening, and thanks for checking in with me. Peace.